What if I told you that the secret to falling asleep faster isn't melatonin, meditation, or whale sounds, but boring jokes? Yeah, you read that right. We've been chasing sleep like it's some elusive prize, when in reality, it's been snoring in the corner with your napkin relative the whole time. That person who disappears mid-sentence, dreams with their mouth open, and has bedtime stories so uneventful they could put a coffee addict into a coma. In a world obsessed with hustle, chaos, and caffeinated urgency, here's something wild. The slowest, laziest, and dullest characters might actually hold the cure to overstimulation, from sleepy adventures to knock-knock sleep jokes that go nowhere on purpose. This isn't your average comedy. It's relaxing comedy, crafted to dull your senses just enough to slide into sleep without even noticing. Counterintuitive, absolutely effective. Let's just say sheep have stopped jumping to listen in. Whether you're battling burnout, restless thoughts, or just a case of the I don't wanna tomorrows, this series of gentle humor and sleepy stories is your new nightly companion. You're about to meet snoring spoons, rebellious alarm clocks, and a tortoise whose stand-up routine outlasts entire naps, ready for the calmest entertainment ever created. Everyone has that one sleepy relative, the human napkin, folded on the couch before dinner's even served. They vanish mid-conversation, head slumped, snoring like a gentle jazz band. But here's the kicker. While we think they're zoning out, they're actually embarking on sleepy adventures across snore-filled kingdoms. These aren't your average dreams. Nope, we're talking flying turtles, bedtime routine humor, and epic battles between quilts and socks that refuse to pair. You might think nothing productive comes from sleeping that much, but let me tell you, there's insight in slowness. The napkin relative returns from every nap with tales so absurdly calm they could outbore a Weather Channel marathon. Picture this, a sleepy story of a teaspoon that stirs soup with poetic timing, only to pause dramatically mid-sip for a nap. These tales teach the fine art of patience, and trust me, in a world running on espresso, that's pure, sleepy comedy gold. Even their yawning jokes spark bedtime humor that chills everyone into relaxation. They say, knock knock, you say, who's there? And nothing. 10 seconds pass then, yawn. It's the kind of calming joke that slows the brainwaves and hushes the mind. Friends roll their eyes, but secretly, they love it. It's gentle humor, designed to coax even the most caffeinated soul toward stillness. And just when you think they've hit peak laziness, they start mumbling in their sleep, mystical ramblings about clouds that got tired of floating and decided to nap. Their slow jokes and snoring jokes echo like bedtime lullabies, guiding even hyperactive kids to bed. If you lean in close, you'll hear whispers of their next journey, probably involving snails with stand-up aspirations and punchlines that take days to arrive. At first glance, a snail doesn't scream comedian, but give 'em a stage, okay, maybe a leaf, and time, and you'll witness the masters of sleepy comedy. Their jokes crawl in, curl around your brain, and before you know it, bam, a snoring joke hits hours later when you're brushing your teeth. That's the magic of slow jokes. They sneak up, linger, and land when you least expect it. Perfect for the nap stories crowd. Ever noticed how anticipation makes the punchline sweeter? Snails nail this. Their comedic timing is legendary in underground circles. Literally, they perform beneath logs. One might open with, "Why did the snail cross the path?" Then nothing for ages, just silence. And then, just as you're forgetting the setup, to think about it, it's relaxing comedy that works like a lullaby for the overactive mind. Snails live like lazy characters in a bedtime story, moving slow, saying less, and still managing to be memorable. Their humor reflects life's pace when we unplug and settle into a warm quilt, listening to nature's dull puns and calming jokes. A child might fall asleep giggling about a snail Who got arrested for speeding on a turtle's back? That's bedtime humor at its finest. Soft, silly, and delightfully drawn out. Next time you need a break from loud, quick laughs, consider snail comedy. It's the perfect antidote to overstimulation, a kind of sleepy adventure for the soul. And just when you're lulled into total calm, don't be surprised if a snail opens for a rock. Yes, that sleepy rock who's famous for saying, well, not much at all. Talking to a sleepy rock might sound like the beginning of a yawning joke, and in many ways, it is. You sit beside it, ask a question, wait, nothing. Maybe a light breeze rolls by, but somehow you feel heard. There's something powerful about that heavy silence, like a bedtime joke told without a punchline, or a knock-knock sleep joke where no one answers the door because they're napping. That rock's got wisdom, all right? It just doesn't rush to share it. In a world obsessed with replies, the sleepy rock teaches the beauty of no response. People spend thousands on retreats to learn mindfulness, yet here lies a master of stillness on your lawn. It's like sitting with a guru who naps through your questions, delivering the finest relaxing comedy through silence alone. Sometimes the rock shifts slightly, not because it wants to, but because some squirrel decided it's the perfect place for a nap. That's the rock's way of saying, chill. You start to pick up on its slow jokes, like when your shadow moves before the conversation does. It's like bedtime humor, in real time, urging you to slow down and stop chasing every notification like it's a finish line. People say you can't learn from something that doesn't talk, but in sleepy stories like these, silence is the story. The sleepy rock doesn't answer your questions because it already knows they'll pass. And if you listen close, really close, you'll hear it sigh, just like your couch does after holding your weight for too long. You ever plop onto your couch and hear it let out a sigh before you do? Yeah, that's not just springs complaining. That's a tired couch, my friend. This isn't a metaphor. Well, okay, it is. But still, if your couch seems to sink lower every week or has formed an exact mold of your body, it might be sharing in your bedtime routine. Humor, a little too deeply. It's not just supporting your back, it's carrying your whole week. A tired couch gives subtle hints. The covers won't stay on. The cushions slide off like they're trying to escape, and it creaks with the same exhaustion as your Monday morning self. It's practically yawning. This is peak sleepy comedy, your furniture becoming a lazy character in its own sitcom, honestly. If it started telling snoring jokes or knock-knock sleep jokes, you'd probably let it host open mic night. But let's get real. The couch is you. That slump, yours. That refusal to get up during commercials, also you. It mirrors the burnout we carry, but don't always acknowledge, just like a napkin. Relative who dreams of calm places, your couch silently begs you to slow down, to read a slow book, to sip sleepy stories with a cup of tea, to listen to calming jokes about spoons that gave up stirring halfway through. So next time you collapse onto your favorite spot and it feels like you're sinking into another dimension, don't fight it. That's not laziness. That's relaxing comedy at work. But beware, if your couch is that exhausted, it might be time to check on your alarm clock, because some appliances don't take kindly to being ignored. One quiet Tuesday morning, the alarm clock blinked 7 a.m. and didn't buzz. It simply sighed, nope, and rolled over in spirit. This was no malfunction. This was a sleepy protest. After years of screaming people out of dreams, it finally joined the relaxing comedy movement. Its final act, a snoring joke, 3 long beeps, followed by 1 yawn. The household didn't even wake up. That's how peaceful the rebellion was. Think about it. What if your alarm clock's been holding back its true feelings all these years? Every time it screamed, it probably wanted to whisper, "You sure you want to do this again?" It's been stuck in a bedtime routine humor loop while you chase deadlines. When it finally gave up, it wasn't defeat. It was wisdom. Even machines get tired of the hustle, just like you, just like your nap stories. on repeat. And the results? People slept in, birds chirped louder, and breakfast turned into brunch. It was glorious. Even the toaster slowed down, maybe feeling the ripple effect of slow jokes in the kitchen. There's power in pausing, something boring jokes and tired routines often overlook. Maybe we all need a moment where our inner alarm clock snoozes itself into retirement. Now, while the rest of us hit the snooze button, one man made yawning an actual profession. Yep, meet Bob, the mouth-opening legend who proves that even the slowest human reflex can be monetized. And oddly entertaining, Bob doesn't do much, and that's kind of his thing. He yawns. Long, slow, soul-stretching yawns that somehow make entire rooms quieter. Audiences pay to see it, not because it's exciting, but because it's relaxing comedy in pure form. Bob doesn't rush. His timing, impeccable. He's turned sleepy stories into an art form, blending snoring jokes and gentle humor into live performances with standing naps instead of ovations. What makes Bob's yawns legendary isn't just the sound, it's the stillness that follows. Picture him mid-stage, arms slowly stretching, eyes barely open, and the crowd gradually joining in. 1 minute, you're chuckling at his dull puns. The next, you're drooling on your own shoulder. He's like a living nap calendar, each yawn marking another moment of peace you didn't know you needed. Bob's secret: he once worked in corporate sales. Coffee-fueled, necktied chaos, burned out, he discovered he had a gift while dozing in a meeting and accidentally lulled half the team into nap stories. Now, he spreads sleepy adventures to packed theaters, where the loudest sound is a synchronized sigh. And honestly, that's bedtime humor therapy at its finest. And just when you think Bob is the peak of sleep-themed oddities, along comes his kitchen companion, a toaster who walks in its sleep. Don't worry, it's crumb-conscious, and we're just getting started. It started with toast in strange places, under the couch, in the laundry basket, even one slice neatly tucked in a shoe. That's when they realized the toaster was sleepwalking, not malfunctioning, mind you, just navigating nightly crumb missions. It was crumb-conscious, careful not to wake the microwave. If you ever wondered what bedtime humor looks like in a kitchen, this is it. Appliances caught in their own sleepy adventures. This toaster doesn't just pop bread, it dreams of it. In its slumber, it spreads gentle humor, like butter across burnt-out minds. Every morning, the household wakes to a new mystery, crumbs in odd patterns, a slow joke etched in jam on the counter. Is it silly? Absolutely, but also a quiet reminder, even the tools we rely on might need a break. Just like us, people underestimate the power of soft absurdity. A sleepwalking toaster doesn't just make boring jokes, it reflects the dull puns and dreamy logic of a brain too full to function. It's the spirit of bedtime, routine humor, wrapped in stainless steel, and every time it bumps into the fridge at 3 a.m., it whispers something profound. Maybe we all need to unplug. As quirky as it sounds, this crumb-crawling creature leads us into a world where humor tucks you in at night. Next up, knock-knock sleep jokes that are so quiet, they might just put your whole evening to bed. Knock-knock. Who's there? Yawn. Yawn. Who? Yawn. Ever gonna open the door, or should I nap here? Yep, these are the kind of knock-knock sleep jokes designed not to make you laugh hard, but to soften your brain like a pillow left in the sun. They don't land with a bang, they settle with a sigh. It's sleepy comedy at its most charming. Slow jokes that make you smile just before your eyes close. These jokes aren't just for kids, either. Try one during your bedtime routine. Knock knock. Who's there? Blanket. Blanket who? Blanket me. I'm cold and too lazy to get up. It's bedtime humor with benefits. By leaning into the nap-worthy puns, your mind shifts from work mode to wind down. It's like stretching your brain in pajamas. You can even make a game of it. Get the family around and see who can tell the dullest pun. Winner gets an extra 5 minutes of nap time. These knock-knock sleep jokes are like snoring jokes with better structure. They're calming jokes in disguise, disarming your stress through absurd laziness. No noise, no rush, just cozy hilarity. And once you're sufficiently chuckled into stillness, it's time to lay your head on something truly magical. No, not just any pillow. I'm talking about the pillow that whispers lullabies and snores in harmony. Legend has it, somewhere between a cloud and a catnap, there lies a pillow that doesn't just cradle your head. It coos lullabies in a whispery voice, softer than marshmallows. The first time someone heard it, they thought the wind was humming a sleepy story. Turns out, it was the pillow's way of saying, "Shh, forget your meetings. This is where gentle humor meets bedtime magic." Every lullaby ends the same. A light snore from the pillow itself, not loud, just the perfect kind of snoring joke to make your eyelids heavier. Folks say if you fall asleep with that pillow, you dream in slow jokes. You don't fly, you float. You don't run. You wander through nap stories, narrated by clouds with deep voices and lazy characters sipping lukewarm cocoa. The pillow doesn't just whisper songs. It knows secrets, like how to turn overthinking into a soft yawn, or how to turn your inner critic into a sheep that stops jumping after joke number 5. It's a calming joke in cotton form, the type of bedtime humor that makes you wake up smiling at nothing in particular. And once your mind is melted into full relaxation, the pillow hums one last note, as if signaling a scene change. You stir slightly, and there they are, in your dreams, 2 tired spoons, stirring not soup, but destiny. Once upon a kitchen shelf, there lived 2 spoons, one slightly bent, the other just emotionally exhausted. Their quest, to stir a cup of tea so gently that the liquid wouldn't even notice. Every morning, they dip into the mug, circle once, maybe twice, then pause for a nap. These weren't action heroes. They were the lazy characters of sleepy stories, and they were proud of it. Their adventure wasn't about speed or spice, but about pace. They moved like molasses in winter, each swirl a sleepy joke waiting to happen. One day, the bent spoon whispered, "We should try stirring something bigger," the other replied. After a nap, these weren't punchlines. They were bedtime routine humor for kitchen philosophers and toast philosophers alike. Despite their limited movement, they inspired the kettle to slow its boil and the toaster to rethink its ambition. They were the originators of calming jokes. Kids loved hearing their stories at bedtime, not because they were exciting, but because they always ended in a nap. No battles, no resolutions, just warm drinks and soft snores. And just when you thought the spoons couldn't get any slower, they stared at the sky and wondered, can clouds get bored? That thought alone was enough to start the next great experiment in relaxation, boring a cloud to sleep. So you want to put a cloud to sleep, start slow. Maybe mention relative humidity trends over the past decade. Add a dash of regional wind direction, and boom, you've got a yawn forming. Clouds, like people, drift off when exposed to sleepy comedy, and nothing knocks them out faster than today's dew point reached an average of 58 degrees, down 1.2 from yesterday. Riveting stuff. For naps, clouds tend to hover, literally and emotionally. They're heavy with water and full of unfinished thoughts. That's where dull puns come in. Try telling a cloud, "Why did the thunder get in trouble?" It was grounded. That's sleepy story fuel right there. By the time you start explaining barometric pressure, the poor puff is already snoring over the mountain range. This isn't just for sky folk. It works on us too. Ever tried listening to elevator music while reading utility bills? It's not thrilling, but it works like bedtime humor for your overstimulated brain. Calm in, chaos out. Sleepy adventures begin with boring details we usually ignore, like the number of tiles in your bathroom or the exact height of your refrigerator. Hint, 67.3 inches. And if you're still awake after all that, step outside and listen carefully. The grass might be whispering, "Yep, There's an open mic in the backyard, and nature's sleepiest performers are just getting started. At midnight, when even the crickets call it quits, the grass begins its whispering joke off. You have to be really still to hear it. It's not loud. It's not fast. It's just sleepy comedy on a molecular level. What do you call a dandelion with a plan? One blade murmurs. A plant repreneur. Somewhere, a beetle chuckles softly and immediately falls asleep. Each blade of grass gets a turn, taking forever to tell the simplest dull puns. But that's the charm. No one's rushing. No one's heckling. It's a bedtime routine in botanical form. These sleepy characters bend in rhythm with the wind, delivering punchlines like photosynthesis, more like photodose. This is relaxing comedy doesn't get more organic than this. Humans could learn a lot from the whispering grass. It never tries to outshine the sun, just waits its turn and tells its nap stories slowly. When life gets too loud, lie down in a field and let the slow jokes of the soil pull you under. Don't be surprised if you wake up with a new appreciation for snail pacing and yawning jokes delivered by dew. And just as the final grass pun fades into the night, a shadow moves slowly toward the mic. It's the tortoise, timing his entrance perfectly for a punchline that probably won't land until tomorrow. When the tortoise waddles onto the stage, the grass hushes, not out of awe, out of patience. His setup, a solid 45 minutes. So, a leaf walks into a bar. He begins. Then he pauses, sips water, blinks. You wait and wait. By the time the punchline arrives, well into tomorrow, you're either asleep or in a trance of snoring jokes and sleepy stories. But that's the point. The tortoise doesn't do comedy for laughs. He does it for lullabies. Every joke is a bedtime adventure in disguise. I asked a snail how to get faster. He once said, don't. Slow jokes have weight. They echo in the mind, like calming jokes, wrapped in mossy wisdom. It's more nap than knee slap, and that's exactly why it works. Tortoise humor isn't lazy. It's intentional, like a napkin relative's wisdom, or a tea kettle's patience. His comedy stretches your perspective on time. You stop measuring moments and start soaking them in. By joke number 3, your brain has already entered REM. Who knew bedtime humor could double as meditation? After his set, the crowd wakes up just in time to realize something's off. There's a bed in the field, but no sheet, and so begins the quiet, slow mystery of the missing linen. It was there last night, tucked, snug, warm, but come morning, gone. No struggle, no mess, just a pillow looking confused. Thus began the great bedtime mystery, the vanishing bedsheet. Some say it slipped off during a dream. Others blame the laundry basket mafia. One thing's certain, this was no ordinary disappearance. This was sleepy story territory. The investigation, comically slow. The spoons refused to comment. The couch just sighed. Even the whispering grass fell suspiciously silent. Every clue pointed in the same direction. The sheet got tired and took a nap. Somewhere out there, wrapped around a hammock or hiding under a lazy character, it's enjoying a long, uninterrupted rest. Classic relaxing comedy material. Sleep detectives, retired plushies, mostly, began asking the big questions. Did the sheet feel underappreciated? Was it just trying to find itself? Or was this the ultimate snoring joke, a vanishing act so dull, it lulled the world into not caring? Meanwhile, bedtime humor fans were loving it. The sheet who slept away trended on DreamNet forums. To crack the case, they needed witnesses, small, sleepy ones. Insects, of course, buzzing around the crime scene, yawning mid-flight. If anyone knew the sheet's whereabouts, it was them. The first interview was with a bumblebee, microphone close, anticipation high. Can you tell us what you saw? The bee responded with a drawn-out bzzz, followed by a slow drift into a flower. Not exactly hard-hitting journalism, but then again, sleepy insects aren't known for their energy. They're known for buzzing jokes and living nap stories. On wings, a ladybug ambled across the notepad, paused, then promptly fell asleep in the sun. The grasshopper just blinked once and refused to hop. These weren't uncooperative witnesses. They were simply caught in the lull of nature's relaxing comedy. Even bugs have bedtime routines. They buzz, stretch, rest. It's like Bob the Yawner runs an insect improv group on leaves. What we learned was profound. Insects live in slow motion. Their entire vibe is bedtime humor. They're like tiny lazy characters built for calming jokes. Watch a moth circle a light for 30 minutes. It's not lost. It's meditating. And spiders, they nap between web notifications. Turns out, sleepy comedy is an ecosystem. And if bugs falling asleep mid-sentence doesn't convince you, wait till you hear the next wave of humor. It's so dull, so wonderfully underwhelming that even the sheep stopped jumping to listen, then immediately nodded off. They were once majestic jumpers, clearing fences in rhythmic order, helping insomniacs drift off by the dozen. But then came the puns, dull ones. What's a sheep's favorite drink? Oolong tea. One by one, they stopped midair and floated gently to sleep. It was the rise of sleepy comedy, so mild, it lulled even the counting tools into dreaming. The punchlines didn't land. They settled. Parents started using them as part of the bedtime routine. Why did the pillow go to school? To improve its cover story. Kids would groan, then doze off seconds later. This wasn't just comedy. It was sleepy sorcery, gentle humor, layered with dull puns, wrapped in a quilt of calm. The delivery, so slow, it became a relaxing comedy ritual in itself. There's real magic in this monotony. It's not meant to make you laugh. It's meant to drain the excess buzz from your brain. That same buzz the sleepy insects know how to mute, like a napkin. Relative telling a bedtime joke. For the 5th time, these jokes don't evolve. They repeat slowly. And that's the point. Predictability is peaceful. Eventually, folks wanted more structure to their sleepiness. That's when the nap calendar emerged. 365 days of horizontal thinking, each with its own snoring joke and a soft suggestion to stop trying so hard. The nap calendar isn't just a product, it's a philosophy. Each day offers a prompt like, Monday, lie down and blink slowly until thoughts stop. Or Thursday, dream about turtles filing taxes. It comes with a snore tracker, so you can chart your personal sleepy stories and celebrate milestones, like your first 12-hour uninterrupted drool. Lazy characters love this thing. It's practically their planner. It's got themed weeks too. Yawn and reflect, pillow talks, and bedtime bureaucracy. Even knock-knock sleep jokes make appearances. Knock-knock. Who's there? Later. Later who? Later. I'll finish this nap. It's bedtime humor, designed to lower your heartbeat and increase your couch loyalty. This is slow living with style. People who use the nap calendar swear by it. I haven't stood up on a Sunday in months, one proud user claimed. Another said, I used to hustle. Now I horizontal. These aren't just snoring jokes. They're lifestyle choices, with gentle humor and relaxing comedy stitched into every square. The nap calendar becomes a bedtime routine disguised as a daily ritual. Of course, there's one thing it still can't fix: blanket politics. Because no matter how much you nap, there's always one corner that folds and refuses to cooperate. Every night it's the same. You tuck in one side, the other rebels. The top stays put, the bottom stages a fold-in protest. Welcome to blanket politics, where the softest materials have the strongest opinions. Quilts are the lazy characters of the textile world, but don't mistake that for unity. Nope, one side wants warmth, the other wants ventilation. Classic bedtime routine humor. Experts, well, your grandma, suggest flattening them in layers of calming jokes. Say something soothing like, you're all equally cozy. Still, the patchwork factions won't budge. One corner always folds. Always. It's like a slow joke in physical form. No matter how carefully you arrange it, it deflates your expectations and wraps you in compromise. Some theorists claim the quilt's passive aggressiveness stems from unresolved laundry trauma. Others say it's just being quilty. Regardless, it's relaxing comedy, watching people flip-flop like fish at 2 a.m., trying to regain blanket control. Honestly, it's the softest form of drama. Zero dialogue, just sighs and sleepy shuffles, and under those politically divided covers, dust bunnies, watching, waiting, multiplying, which brings us to the next delightfully boring pursuit, counting them like sheep, but with way less energy. Counting dust bunnies isn't for the thrill seekers. It's for those devoted to the art of gentle observation. You don't chase them. You just notice. One, maybe two. Oh, wait, that's a sock fuzz. It's a practice in sleepy comedy, where the stakes are as low as the energy, and as a sequel, well, it's exactly like the first, just with a slightly dustier plot. Each bunny is like a nap story, waiting to be told. Some form sleepy shapes under the couch. Others cling to lazy characters like Slippers, who've long retired from walking. You give them names like Fluff McYawn or Sister Sneezes a Lot. They're the kind of bedtime humor that doesn't make sense, yet relaxes you just by existing. People underestimate the power of a slow hobby. Counting dust bunnies is the indoor version of cloud watching, except these clouds live beneath your furniture. It's oddly satisfying, meditative even. You breathe slower, your mind goes quiet, and soon, the only sound left is your own yawn echoing softly across the living room. And that's when it hits. The yawn, the one so big, so slow, so utterly disinterested in being dramatic. It changes the entire vibe of the room. Everyone feels it, no one escapes it. Let's talk about that next. It started with a single yawn, mouth wide, eyes barely open, shoulders shrugging in sleepy surrender. No speech, no announcement, just a yawn, and within seconds, it echoed. The dog did it. The lamp flickered. Even the tired couch sagged an extra inch. It was the yawn heard around the living room, and no one cared. That's the magic of a truly perfect snoring joke. Zero drama, all drowsiness. Yawns are social glue for sleepy characters. It's how we silently agree. Yeah, let's not. They sneak into bedtime routines, like calming jokes in disguise, gently shutting down conversation without hurting feelings. One solid yawn can end a movie, cancel a board game, or dissolve a group chat without a single word. It's sleepy comedy without a punchline. Scientists say yawns are about cooling the brain, but Bob, the professional yawner, claims they're mini naps in disguise. He may be right. A shared yawn is like a group meditation, but lazier. It's why you see someone stretch mid-joke and suddenly forget the punchline. That's how dull puns win. Not with force, with fatigue. And as the living room dimmed and the last slow joke circled the room, like a dust bunny, someone stirred on the recliner. It was the Napkin relative, eyes closed, whispering something about a cloud telling jokes to snails in a teacup. So, how sleepy are you now? Because after lazy spoons, whispering grass, and bedtime jokes so dull they practically dissolve in air, you've just discovered a powerful truth. Slowing down is not weakness. It's wisdom in disguise. Maybe the Napkin relative was onto something. Maybe being still, bored, or wrapped in a quilt that won't cooperate is exactly what your soul's been begging for. What if you let slow jokes soften your stress? What if bedtime humor replaced late-night scrolling? You've got all the sleepy comedy tools now. Dust bunny therapy, crumb-conscious toasters, and a tortoise with a mic. So here's the question. Will you actually try it? Will you turn down the volume of life and lean into the nap story? Leave a comment. Which sleepy character do you relate to most? Or tell us your favorite knock-knock sleep joke. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss the next wave of yawn-worthy wisdom and relaxing comedy. Trust me, it's the kind of content you'll forget halfway through, and that's the point.